you frequently reference the multiple organizations that support, I guess what you think is helpful guidelines for the medical care of youth identifying with gender incongruence or gender dysphoria, however you want to call it. So this right here is a graph or a chart, and it shows guidelines citing other guidelines rather than citing actual studies and evidence. Okay, this is what in academia would be called a citation cartel. It starts with WPATH right here. When in 2001, I believe, yes, 2001, it starts with WPATH putting out standards of care number 6. That gets cited by Endocrine Society and their guidelines for care, which then gets cited again by WPATH and their next standards of care version 7. And so what we actually have had happen is guidelines citing guidelines instead of actual evidence to create a false illusion of consensus. Okay, this is from the CAS review. This is one of the studies that came out in the CAS review, which was an independent review commissioned by, I believe it was the UK, that actually looked at gender medicine. And so when you say that we've got all these organizations like the APA that are going along with these guidelines, they're not basing it on evidence. They're basing it on guidelines to manufacture a false consensus. When we look at actual people looking at the evidence, okay, Dr. Gordon Guyot, who's largely considered to be the pioneer of evidence-based medicine, he said, quote, this was in 2023, current American guidelines for managing gender dysphoria in adolescents are untrustworthy. In 2025, he said to Mia Hughes that if she could find somewhere where he called gender-affirming care for minors medically necessary, he would, quote, have to jump off a bridge if you do. And that's the father, the pioneer of evidence-based medicine. And so I would just like to know, is it at all possible in your mind that these organizations have been misguided by other organizations that put out guidelines that might be ideologically motivated?
No, I would say this is extremely unlikely.
It's extremely unlikely. Okay, I'm just curious, what could disconfirm that belief that it's extremely unlikely?
You would have to provide like a meta-analysis showing that gender-affirming care does not increase the quality of life for trans.
So like the CAS review?
Is that a meta-analysis?
It's a systematic review of all the evidence, yes.
I would have to take a look at it, but literally when I look into it, nothing showed that to be the case. And I can
okay, you got your 10 minutes is your time now.